A common side effect of going on a weight loss journey and losing body fat is that your sleep is interrupted or your sleep cycle is disrupted. The reason for this is because in order to actually break down fat that we have stored on our body, we actually require our stress hormones like cortisol, noradrenaline, and adrenaline to be raised. This is because they are actually needed in order to cause the breakdown of our body fat. And this actually makes sense. It's a very, very important survival mechanism of our body. If we need to get away from, for example, some kind of predator, we need to be able to increase these hormones so that they can take what we have stored on our body and use it for fuel to essentially get away from whatever is attacking us. The same mechanism is occurring if we are losing body fat to a lesser extent. We are raising these hormones and they are effectively going to the tissues like our fat tissue, breaking down these substrates that we have stored on our body and utilizing them for energy. But of course, if we are raising these hormones, these are going to be get up and go hormones. They are going to make us have more available energy and they are going to essentially keep us more awake and focused. But of course, when it comes to sleep, this isn't a great situation for sleep. So if you're experiencing this when you're going through a weight loss program, what you can do is actually make sure that you are increasing your insulin a little bit when you do eat. When we go on, for example, a keto diet, people get really afraid of raising insulin. And, there's some good reasoning behind this, but what you do want to make sure that you do is when you do eat, you do raise insulin a little bit. This will help us to build some muscle, but it will also help with reducing those stress hormones a little bit. So you can make sure that you are eating enough protein, around 30 grams of protein per meal. This will raise insulin a little bit in order to help with these stress hormones. You don't necessarily need to eat carbohydrates to raise insulin enough. Some people, extremely lean people like myself, you may find that you require some carbohydrates in order to raise insulin enough, but you could do this by just consuming some kind of low tox fruit, like for example, dates. Magnesium glycinate is also very, very good for reducing our stress hormones and helping us to raise our sleep promoting hormones prior to bedtime. So if you take, around sort of 200 to 800 milligrams of magnesium glycinate around sort of 30 to an hour before bedtime, this can really help as well. And of course, following some really good sleep hygiene practices prior to bed as well. Trying to avoid blue light, turn your phone onto the low light option, and, trying to expose yourself to some red light as opposed to blue light prior to bedtime. Maybe doing some relaxing meditation or some breathing exercises can be really good as well. And of course, not exercising prior to bedtime can be useful. Another thing on the insulin, if you're finding this to be a problem, maybe consuming your meal that is going to raise insulin the most as your last meal of the day, that can help too.